This is Alan Gilman with Torah Bites for the week of March the 28th, 2026, the 10th of Nisan, 5786. This week's message is entitled, The Unchanging God, and I'm reading from Malachi chapter 3 and verse 6. For I, the Lord, do not change. Therefore you, O children of Jacob, are not consumed. I understand how difficult it is to grasp God's covenantal loyalty, his chesed in Hebrew. But it isn't acknowledged, more than that, celebrated in Scripture for nothing, such as the 26 times it's repeated in Psalm 136. Ki leolam chazdo, his steadfast love endures forever. However, the difficulty surrounding God's enduring love isn't due to some sort of linguistic or conceptual complexity. It's that we cannot seem to accept that God would commit in this extreme way. But no matter how you might feel about it, that's exactly what he did. When God called Abram in the 12th chapter of Genesis, he put no conditions on his promises to him of nationhood, blessing, and land. Perhaps the directive to go to the land of Canaan was a condition. If so, that condition was met. It's one thing to make unconditional promises, it's another thing to keep them, but to keep them was never in question, the certainty of which is expressed by God through the prophet Malachi, as I've already read, but I'll repeat it. From Malachi 3 verse 6, For I, the Lord, do not change. Therefore you, O children of Jacob, are not consumed. Not being consumed doesn't mean easy street by any stretch of the imagination. Israel's chosenness thrust them into the pressure cooker of partnership with God, his plans, and his purposes. God's spotlight shone upon them, entrusting them with divine truth, but also putting a target on their backs as God's enemies became their enemies. Bearing the weight of God's calling, their human nature would be taxed in unique ways. Their frailty and sin would be showcased for all to see. Their failure, as any other nation would have done, to live up to God's standards would have consequences of oppression, exile, and death. By Malachi's day, they thought they'd seen it all. Some, having returned from exile to Babylon, hoping for long-anticipated better days, continued to experience corruption and strife. Yet, like every other time, whether before or afterwards, they were down, but not out. But why? Why hasn't Israel ended up like so many other nations on the ash heap of history? Why are the children of Jacob not consumed? Well, it's because the God of Israel doesn't change. God's unchanging nature is the basis of our confidence in him. Tragically, those who reject God's enduring faithfulness to Israel don't realize that if he can't be trusted to fulfill his promises to Israel as a nation, we have no basis to trust in his enduring faithfulness to us as individuals. Thankfully, that's not the case. The unchangeable God is not fickle, but trustworthy. That's why we can look at the miracle of the Jewish people's existence, not just existence, but thriving, despite persecution, exile, and attempted genocide, and take heart that whatever we might be going through today, if we've put our trust in the Jewish Messiah, he will see us through. For more messages like this, visit the Torah Bites website at www.torahbites.org. Email your comments and questions to comments@torahbites.org. And you can follow us on X @TorahBites. Until next time, this is Alan Gilman with Torah Bites. Lehitraot.